Do you see other people using Excel and think, how are they so quick? Do you waste your time clicking through the ribbon to find commands? This video is for you. Welcome to PSG's How to Use the Quick Access Toolbar Like a Pro. In this video, I'm going to talk about the Quick Access Toolbar and show you how you can use it to save time at work. The Quick Access Toolbar is in all Microsoft Office applications, but I'm going to focus on Excel in this one. I will run through what it is, how to use it, how to add and remove commands, and then talk you through the setup I have developed over the last 7 years as a strategy consultant in London. The Quick Access Toolbar is a game changer. If you take the time to watch this video, get it set up properly, you will save literally hours when using Excel. So, diving in. The Quick Access Toolbar is this toolbar here, just above the main ribbon. It's a toolbar onto which you can add commands. It's a huge time saver. If used well, it will not only make your life much easier, but it will also speed up your Excel so that you can do more in less time. I use it for two types of commands. Those I use really regularly, and those I use less often, but have long keyboard shortcut sequences or are hard to find. More on that later though. The main reason it's so good is that it's very easy to access, hence quick access. You can either click on them like this, or use Alt plus the numbers 1 to 9 and 09 to 01. Don't ask me why they work up and then back down, it makes no sense to me either. For example, if I want to save, I press Alt and then 2. To make the most out of it, you will need to customize it by adding the set of commands that you find most useful. The default ones are terrible, as they are easy functions to use, Ctrl-Z for undo, Ctrl-S for save, and they're not actually used that often. To customize it, click on the small down arrow here, then click More Commands. In the pop-up there are two boxes. The one on the left has all of the commands in Excel. The one on the right is your Quick Access Toolbar. In order to find a command, use the drop-down here and select the tab in which the command you are looking for is in. Then select the command and click Add. You can then move it up and down your toolbar by selecting it and using these up and down arrows. Another handy feature is the Import-Export drop-down here. Once you are happy, you can export your bar and save it in your backups folder so that if your computer dies, you will be able to import your bar into your new one. Right then, that's how to use it. Now I will show you the commands I use on my toolbar that I've developed over the last 7 years as a strategy consultant. It's worth pointing out that I use the standard hotkeys for a few of the really regular commands, percentage, saving, etc., so they're not in my bar. I suggest you do this too, as you want to strike the balance between customizing your installation of Excel on your computer, whilst also not being too reliant on the really obvious, really frequently used shortcuts, so that you can still work quickly on other people's Excels or other people's computers. So, this is my Quick Access Toolbar. I have 18 commands on it. It's worth pointing out that order really does matter here. I have deliberately set mine up to work best with a keyboard that has a number pad on it. It's not at all necessary to have one, but using one will make the most of my Quick Access Toolbar. I'll explain why as I go through each group of functions. I'm going to start with the 6 border-based ones. I have all 4 sides of a cell, the middle cross borders, and then the no border function. I've deliberately put them in the order that they are so that you can select them using the directional arrows on the numpad. For example, I can add a bottom border by pressing Alt plus down on the numpad, i.e. number 2. Or I can add the right border by pressing Alt plus right on the numpad, i.e. number 6. Then Alt plus 5, i.e. in the middle of the number pad, adds the central cross. Finally, Alt plus 05 will remove all borders from the selection. Next up, the 3 paste functions. I have paste values, which paste the numbers shown in the cell, even if they are generated by a formula. Paste formula. This will paste the formula from a source cell and nothing else, i.e. not the format. Finally, paste formatting. To use this, copy the formatting you want, select where you want it to go, then use this function. It's a bit like the format painter, but it's more efficient as it allows you to move between the source and the target area using arrow keys on your keyboard and not your mouse. Next up, the 4 add/remove rows and columns functions. You will use these all the time, so make sure these are in your bar. The top right and the top left of the numpad, with a 0 in front of it, add columns and rows. The middle row right and the middle row left, remove them. Again, columns and rows in the same order. Next, group and ungroup. The shortcut for these is really long, so it's really worth having this one in your bar. They are really helpful functions for making your sheet look neat and tidy. You can group columns and rows, and ungroup rows and columns, like this. Finally, 3 other commands which I find really useful. Freeze, unfreeze. For this one, move your selection to the cell in which you want to freeze your sheet on. Note that it takes the left and top of the cell as the freeze lines, and then hit freeze. Then you press it again to unfreeze the sheet. The second is merge and center. I use this one a lot, in particular when I'm making heading cells above tables. It works like this. Finally, conditional formatting. The shortcut for this is quite long, and I use conditional formatting a lot when I'm analysing data so I can quickly visualise the results. Use the command and the usual drop-down will appear, and you can then use the letters shown to navigate it. There you have it! These are my 18 commands that I use on my quick access toolbar. I've exported my bar and I've put a link in the comments so that you can download it and install it yourself if you want to. That's it for this video. If you haven't already, take a look at my other videos in this playlist for more tutorials on how to use Excel like a pro. I hope you found this video useful. Please hit subscribe and head over to my channel for more instructional videos on a range of professional services related topics, and please do leave a comment if there's anything in particular you would like me to cover.